If you're watching this video, hopefully you're not here to watch me try to turn a penny into a mansion or something like that. That's not what this video is about. Instead, we want to talk about legit ways to actually take $100 and turn it into $1,000 in under 24 hours. And we've actually done this in a number of different ways that we'll be talking about in this video. And no, it's not gonna be crypto. No, it's not NFTs. And no, you're not gonna be selling lemonade on the corner of the road.
But if you're new to our channel, my name is Haley and this is my husband, Doug. We run a 7-figure digital products-based business, but we tried a myriad of different things as far as making money online, from Amazon FBA to selling Etsy templates to selling physical products, and even was doing consulting on a side for a couple years. And so if you're interested in making and earning a living online, being able to work less and live more with your family, then go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and let's go ahead and get into it.
So before we get into these, okay, these are not going to be get rich quick schemes. Okay, yes, I know I say $100 into $1,000, but the idea is that you take what you learn from taking that 100 into 1,000 and scale it into an actual business that you can quit your 9-to-5 with, that you can support your family with, you can go race cars if you want to, you can do all the crazy things on this new business that you have built. This is not a get rich quick thing. Quit it, turn it off, and then go on to the next thing in 24 hours and start flipping Pokemon cards or sneakers, okay? These are actual business models and things that can become, again, full-time businesses. So now with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it.
The very first one might seem kind of strange and it seems like it's hard and you're gonna hate this, trust me, but hear us out, okay? The first way to turn $100 into $1,000 is through coaching people. I know, and before you're like, oh hell no, like I'm not doing that because—
Leave the video.
Yeah, I wanna sell dog stickers, like—
again, the
yeah, I know, every video.
Insert comment about someone being like, Haley got something against somebody with dog stickers on here.
Okay, well, like, you know, the whole like, hey, we're gonna sell AI art on Etsy and make all of our dreams come true. Like, no, we are over 30 years old. I say this in every video too. We have almost 4 kids, pregnant with the 4th, okay? We have real responsibilities. We don't wanna just make a quick buck and have to go back to our 8-to-5 job. So these, like he said, are legit things to do. And so coaching might seem like the death of you because you hate your coworkers anyways, you don't wanna talk to anybody else, but here's why we love it.
So coaching has little to no overhead, okay? There's no real upfront costs that are there that you need to be able to incur when it comes to coaching. So you might not even need that $100 to begin with too. You can teach what you already know. You don't got to go out and learn a new skill. You don't got to go do trainings. You can teach someone the things that are already sitting there inside your head. And this isn't coaching like, you know, people might just think basic like fitness coaching. I feel like that's the first thing that always comes up is people like, oh, let me go, you know, coach fitness. And like, cause that's the thing that I do. I'm always at the gym. Like you can still go do that, but there's actually a lot of other things that you do. Like we have a very successful photography coach and photography mentor that we work with. We have a really successful homeschool coach, okay, which is very interesting. And you'd be like, why would anybody need coaching on homeschooling? Well, they do. People like coaches. People like it when you have a face-to-face interaction. And so that's also one of the reasons why we really like coaching, is because when you work face-to-face with somebody, you don't need a ton of social proof. You don't need a bunch of followers to be able to prove to somebody that you know what you're doing, because it's a face-to-face interaction.
The other thing about it is you don't need a massive audience like you would with like an online course or getting a ton of leads to your Etsy shop to sell like Instagram reel covers or something like that. And it's also scalable, okay? So when it comes to coaching people, it might not be something that you necessarily want to trade your time for forever. You can eventually hire that out, but you have to think long term. And so if you want to hit a large lump sum of money within 30 to 60 days, it's better to just, you know, work with people directly than it is to wait to grow an audience in the future.
So now you might be asking, well, Doug, like, how do I go about that? Give me some examples. Give me some proof of what we might be able to do. The first thing that you need to be able to figure out is, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're really interested in? I mean, like Haley and I said, we've had some crazy examples in the past. I mean, right now we even have really successful homesteading coaches, and it's like gardening, and they're moving into chickens next and how to be able to process chickens and coach people through that, which is wild.
They make a lot of money doing this.
It's pretty successful, and it can really be about anything. So the first step, and really one of the biggest steps you need to do, is just figure out what can you do, what do you have passion on. I mean, one of the examples that I always use too is that there are Fortnite coaches out there, video game coaches, because moms here, their kids are getting made fun of on the school playground because they're getting stomped in Fortnite, so they go hire a dude to go teach them how to be better at Fortnite so they don't get made fun of.
I cannot be this mom.
Like coaching is such a thing. And so once you're able to figure out what you need to do and what you want to coach on, you got to look the part. People are going to creep you. You got to have a social, not a social presence, but a social brand.
Yeah.
Okay. You just got to look the part, put up some posts, look good in your profile picture. Don't have your cat that's on there. And then you'll be on your way to starting a coaching business. And so let's say you decide to start coaching people and you're into this. If you can book just 10 people at $100, you have now made that $100 into $1,000, and you've made a huge return on your investment, and it's a scalable process from then on out. Okay, so just think about that and think about the benefits to coaching versus, you know, being scared of talking to people. And let's say you did need to use that $100 investment that was there. Okay, there are some tools that will definitely make your life a little bit easier. Calendly is a tool. There's actually a free version, but for some more of the advanced uses and being able to like send texts and stuff, I think it's like $15 a month that's there. You could also pay somebody to make like a really good looking social media profile for you or something like that. That's really all you would need in order to invest to get started in a coaching business, and the return is just so much greater than what you might actually spend.
So obviously, like we said, these are things that we've actually done. And so the next one is online courses. And before you stop the video and think, oh my gosh, online courses are overdone, everyone's selling them. Yeah, oversaturated. That is absolutely not the case. I mean, you might see that there's a lot of people selling online courses. I don't know about you guys, but when I talk to my own friends and family, like in my personal life, they're like, so what's a course? I mean, we're in this homeschool co-op. They don't know what the heck we do. And so yes, if you're in the online space, it does seem like everyone's doing it, but in real life, like there's not that many people selling courses, okay? What we love about courses is that there's little to no overhead, meaning that you don't necessarily need to pay for some fancy course hosting platform or some like evergreen webinar software. We've had students actually host their course through Google Drive to get started. When we talk to them for the first time, they're like, yeah, I've been selling these and just giving the people the link to like a private Google Drive. Like this just proves my point that, again, you don't have to be some master authority on the topic. We have so many different people, like Doug said, who teach weight loss from postpartum moms or how to homestead, how to homeschool, how to start your photography business. And they just know one step ahead of another person. They're not necessarily charging like $10,000 to work with them, but maybe they get started at like $200. And so that would be a great opportunity to sell your first online course.
So like Haley was saying, courses are one of our favorite things because, you know, the prices can range a lot. All right. They can range from like $37 up to $9.97 or $14.97 and even higher ticket prices. But I really just want to differentiate that courses, we like these better in terms of digital products like spreadsheets or templates or things because you can scale them, because it is like an actual business, because you're providing a ton of value that's there, and you can turn this to be something that's semi-passive when it comes to figuring out what your business strategy is going to be. So I really do just want to differentiate the fact that courses, a lot of people lump like digital products and courses together. This is separate. They are different things.
Yeah. So like selling templates on Etsy, that's like super hot right now. There's nothing wrong with it if you want to make a quick buck at the end of 1 month, but it's not necessarily something that can, you know, replace your entire income sustainably and, in my opinion, comfortably. I mean, as a mom of multiple kids with responsibilities, like I've been saying, I need something legit that I'm not going to be scared about paying, like, I don't know, my mortgage. And so that's why we don't recommend those types of like super quick turnaround, like AI art income streams. Courses, they're a little more traditional, but there's something where if you can get one person to pay you for your online course, you can upsell them into multiple different products. And we explain all of this in our ladder video, which I will link down below, how to basically build a 7-figure business and the formula behind it. And so that's why we would still recommend courses as a great starting point. Honestly, though, in our opinion, it would be like secondary to starting with coaching if you have a small audience. And so the reason why it only would cost you $100, let's say, I mean, obviously you can totally spend a lot more on like fancy websites and fancy sales pages. You can hire someone to do your logo. None of those things are important. The only thing that I would say from being a former full-time YouTuber is necessary to get sales to your online course, other than probably a sales page and a way for people to pay you, which you can get all of that stuff with like free.
Yeah, Kajabi has like a free trial that you can do. It's a 30-day free trial. You can check it out down in the description below. It's really cool because like you could try out multiple platforms before you ever actually have to pay for them, and you can actually get people paying you before you have to pay the platform. So it's an awesome opportunity to be able to do that.
But besides the Kajabi, which we feel like is a great opportunity because it is free and you can just try it out for like the first 30 days, right? Is obviously having some type of social presence on social media. So pick a platform, whatever you feel like is best. We would recommend really being on YouTube, okay? So a lot of course creators, you'll see them on YouTube and on Instagram. The majority of the ones that we have found, at least through our own experience with friends in the industry and our own clients, they make the most amount of money with their courses are YouTubers. So even if you're a YouTuber, but you have only 100 followers, you can still make so much money through your online course just because your videos, if you rank them and if you get good at that one skill of ranking YouTube videos, not like doing 100 different dancing reels every other day of the week, which I feel like I'm too old to do nowadays. If you get really good at doing YouTube, then that's all you have to do to make what we call semi-passive income. Because if you rank one video on YouTube, for instance, I'll put here, but like one of our videos I did years ago, we still get sales to our YouTubepreneur program every single week because I ranked this one video and it's old. As long as your funnels are working and as long as you're obviously still updating your your course. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's a great way to maximize the amount of money that you can make with less time.
So basically, once you have that product or once you have that idea, and then once you have some type of way to find an audience, all you need to be able to do is sell it and then, be able to provide it to them. And that's why we talk about Kajabi again. But we have seen people, like I said, do Google Drive. We've seen people do Facebook groups. We've seen people do it in a number of different ways. And so if you had to spend that $100, again, you could spend it on a potential free trial or something like that, or you could spend it on being able to pay for extra Google Drive space or something like that. It's not really necessary, which is one of the reasons why we really like it.
Like we just kind of mentioned, you just need your phone to post on YouTube. You can edit on apps that are like nearly as good as iMovie nowadays or anything else, and you can upload there as well. So there's absolutely no excuse as to why you can't get your first sale with less than $100 to your online course posting on YouTube. And you don't have to be some YouTuber or some famous person. You just have to consistently post and get better at that one skill, which is ranking your YouTube videos.
So the next one here is we want to actually talk about the rest of the digital products that don't fall under courses or coaching, which are just low ticket digital products. And we want to include this because we really don't believe that there's one specific path for each type of person. Just because we prefer to be able to do courses or coaching or high ticket sales, things that can 10 or 20x your return on investment, doesn't mean selling low ticket products on like Etsy or Gumroad or any of those other marketplaces and selling the dog sticker packs or things like that, or the AI art, doesn't mean it doesn't fit someone's needs. Okay, so we do still want to be able to talk about that because you can still turn $100 into $1,000 within 24 hours doing these low ticket digital products.
For instance, you might just be a college student and you're trying to get your nursing degree. You're not going to go and take our advice and like start a coaching program because you're in school, you want to be a nurse, right? And you just want some side income maybe to pay off your debt quicker than everybody else. And so yeah, doing like templates on Canva and that strategy would be right for you if you're not looking to be a full-blown entrepreneur.
So digital products are things like font packs or brush packs, or it could be spreadsheets, Canva templates, like Haley said, the AI dog stickers, there's PNG stickers, there's all these things that basically come in a digital format. And so the way that you need to be able to get started here though is you need to, one, figure out what you're going to sell, and you have to do a lot of research. So part of that $100 investment might go into a tool like Everbee or something, for instance, that people use on Etsy. And then the other thing that you might need, and this is like one of two ways you can go with this, you might need an editing software, or you might need to pay for a course to learn how to make these things and learn how to actually make something that will actually sell. So usually, like I said, they're sold on Etsy or Gumroad or other places like that, and you post it, you optimize them, and hope that they sell.
Yeah, low ticket products on Etsy or all these places that he mentioned, they're definitely viable if you're looking for more of a side hustle route. So the next one that we've both personally done is running service-based businesses. So this isn't something that I talk about because I did it so long ago. Basically, running a service is clearly doing just that. Like you are providing a service for somebody else. And so years ago, I was a blog writer for like this random Tyler Mall blog in Riverside County. I don't know.
Shout out right there at the top.
And so Doug's done service for like SEO clients on the side. But I've also created content for other brands back before I was even an influencer, like creating pins on Pinterest or creating UGC content.
So really what you just have to ask yourself is like, what kind of skill or what kind of thing that I can provide for people in just really exchange for money? And a lot of times it starts with like, what am I currently doing? Okay, like Haley said, I was doing SEO, I was doing marketing, so I could run a service-based business on the side, helping people with their marketing, with their SEO or things like that. Haley was trying to learn photography and she would take pictures for people and she would do things like creating content for them. You could do stuff like editing videos, making thumbnails, websites, and that's just all in the digital space. Okay, you can even go and do a service-based business if you really wanted to nowadays in the physical space. You could go like mow lawns. We had kids come up and ask us to wash our trash cans. You can basically do anything that is a service for other people, and all you need is $100 investment to basically do something like some type of marketing, maybe set up a Yelp if you're going to do something that's physical and something that's local, and you can easily turn that into paying clients almost instantly as long as you have somebody to talk to. So let's get kind of like mathematical here, and maybe Haley will fall asleep at this point. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, the thing is that let's say you want to be like a dog walker. I was with the kids out. We saw this lady walking literally 30 dogs all attached to like her waist.
Sketch.
Okay, like the biggest dogs, she's texting on her phone, like walking with all these dogs. It made me think, how much money can you actually make being a dog walker out there? And so I was looking at the cost. It's things like $23 for like a dog lap belt leash thing. Then you got to get $10 for the doggy bags that are there. And then you got to get treats and water bottles. And then you have to get dog walker insurance. But it comes out to like $63 for 1 month of being able to pay for those expenses. And they get paid $17 to $25 per dog per hour.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
so if you
That's the wrong
stack,
business.
I don't know, if you stack like 10 dogs, it's like $250 an hour. In 4 hours, you've turned your $100 into $1,000. Okay,
That's enlightening.
that is the power of running the service-based business. If you have time, to walk dogs. And if you want to walk dogs, as a 32-year-old dad of 4, I already walked 4 animals, or almost 4 animals, okay? I don't need to go walk more dogs, but for those of you that it fits the bill for that, I hope that information helps. But if you want to keep things online, we actually have a student that actually helped people to be able to do this, but they run a service-based business on being a virtual assistant. So what you can actually do is basically just do like the monotonous tasks of like cleaning emails, of sending emails,
Posting
social media, reviewing copy, writing headlines, doing research. Being a virtual assistant to people is a service-based business. And that is one that literally almost has no overhead that's required. I might pay somebody to take like professional headshot of me, or like submit a headshot or something like that, and then have someone to help like create a template or a resume or something like that for my virtual assistant business. But really there's like no overhead on that, and people get paid 15, 20, 25, even up to like $30 or $35 an hour, depending upon what kind of job they're doing as a virtual assistant. So whether you want to be online or whether you want to be walking dogs, there's a service-based business out there for you.
So this next one is obviously one that we did for a couple years of our life there, and it was being on social media in general, okay? But specifically being YouTubers. And so this isn't necessarily something that can turn a profit in 24 hours. You totally can if you combine it with another money-making activity like selling your own online course or your own coaching program, like the first two we mentioned. But there's so many different ways you can make money on social. We've made money in a myriad of different ways, like affiliate marketing through Amazon, reward style, obviously YouTube AdSense, there's sponsorships, and creating content for brands other than your own. A lot of influencers don't know that it's not just the sponsorships that are the thing that can get you paid. It is creating additional content that other brands can run for ads. So when we were doing sponsorships for the 2 years we were just doing YouTube, we would make so much more money on the back end because the brand would then ask me to create a personalized ad with my face on it that they would run for marketing purposes. So you guys probably might see me if you watch my other channel in different ads. I have an ad for, Doug doesn't even know, but I have an ad for prenatal vitamins that I sat on my daughter's bed and like talked about the prenatal vitamins. But we have ads for Home Chef out there. Usually Amazon companies will pay you like an extra $1,000 or $2,000. And so this, again, this isn't like within 24 hours. And so the only thing that I could ever imagine making you money within 24 hours would be the online courses or coaching, but 30 days is pretty nice.
Okay, so I want to throw a curveball in here too. This isn't exactly a like normal business idea or, you know, thing that people might think about, but something you can do if you're like absolutely strapped and you need to make money quickly and you got to figure out what to do is you can actually rent things out. Okay, I know this sounds really weird, but people rent out stuff like their car through Turo, which is normal, okay? Or people rent out their spaces through Airbnb. But let's say you don't have a car and you don't have a space for an Airbnb, okay? You can actually rent out like a single room, or you can rent out things like equipment for stuff. You can rent out photography gear. One popular thing that I've actually seen is people rent out baby gear. So if you have like old baby gear that you don't use, you can rent that out.
For people that are traveling.
For people that are traveling, you know, people might come into like Disneyland, for example. They don't want to bring their stroller or their car seat or whatever. You can rent those things from normal people just like you would if you were renting a car on Turo or renting a house on Airbnb. And so there's a lot of opportunities to be able to rent either the stuff that you already have, like I've seen people rent chickens and goats, which is actually kind of interesting, but you can also rent out, you know, equipment you might find on Facebook Marketplace. So like if you have $100, maybe you're really strapped and you're like, okay, I'll go pick up some baby equipment and list it on Baby Quip or whatever that like site is called, and you can go flip it for some money through renting that. And it's kind of a quick way to turn $100 to $2,000. I wouldn't bank my life on it, obviously, you know, but if I wanted to make a quick buck or two, maybe that's something I do.
That is pretty much it for today's video. If you guys like this video and if you get value from it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, like the video, and we'll see you in our next one. Bye guys.